IntellectualRadio-Podcast.com, where you can get books from independent book authors from around the country. Obviously, all of my books are there as well. You can also, one of our others, Helping People Win. They handle all of our seminars and showcases that we do. And the other one is Love to Learn Center. They handle all our workshops and classes that we have going on. We have another sponsor that will start in the fall, Achieving Lasting Greatness Academy. And that's where you have our online school. A lot of good things going on there as well. So, two people that's promoters, promoting partners of ours, Paige Des, Paige, Burrest hyphen Bird Des. Her number 860-874-5605, 860-874-5605. She's an emotional intelligence coach, so get with her. She's one of the promotional partners here for this show, A Greater You. Also, Marla J. Alberti. She's a life and harmony, life work life harmony coach. 904-728-2090, 904-728-2090. So give her a call as well. She can help you out in a lot of different areas. Also, so let's get started. So we're coming out the book, Becoming a Better Me. You can purchase the book from unknowngreatness.com. We talked quite a few things over the last three sessions on how to make becoming a better person personal, as well as how to actually know that you matter, that you're valuable, that you that you're valuable, and all those good things. So um, then we also not only saying that that it's personal, that you're valuable, that you matter. We also talked about self-help skills because you need self-help skills to help you deal with yourself. If you don't deal with yourself well, then it's going to be hard to deal with life well. So, because in life, you're going to have your ups and downs, you're going to have your good times, bad times. All those things are going to go on in life. Well, you and I have to get better at dealing with ourselves because we can't control life, but we can't control us. You see what I'm saying? So your job is to control yourself and cope with yourself much better than you are, so that you can become much better than you are. And if not, then you'll find that you are not doing well at all. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the things you want to do is cope with yourself better as you do these things. So we talked about some of the self-help skills to do it for yourself, personal responsibility. We talked about some of the self-help skills in regards to self-interest, by investing in yourself, self-worth, all those different things. Now, last week, the last session, part three, we kind of talked about some things in regards to cleansing yourself or purging yourself and the self-help skill of self-cleansing. We talked about managing yourself or handling yourself, which is a self-help skill of self-management. And we talked about dealing with yourself, right? Which is the self-help skill of facing yourself, right? And those things. So we talked about quite a few things last week. So this week we're going to talk about a couple of more and to close this out, because this is our last session for this particular book. And we're going to talk about one of the self-help skills. And I like to say, cultivate yourself. If you want to become a better self, you got to cultivate the person that you are. If you don't cultivate the person that you are, then you won't become better than you are. So cultivating yourself, if you cultivate anything, it's actually meaning you have to spend time with it. Well, spending time with you is how you make you a better you. See, if you keep running from yourself, you can't spend time with yourself, meaning you won't become a better self. So if you're not spending time with you, that means you're probably becoming a worse you because you're not spending time with yourself. So that's what the self-help skill that is actually involved is self-development. See, some people think self-development is a topic within itself. They don't realize self-development is a self-help skill. See, if you don't develop you, then that means chances are you're going to destroy you. So if self-development is not what you do, then self-destruction will be what you're doing. So you'll destroy yourself all because you refuse to develop yourself. So let's take a quick look at the word develop, right? Develop, DE means away, envelop means to wrap. So to wrap away, or in what we would say, unwrap. So every day, or when you get involved with yourself to become a better self, you're unwrapping yourself to become a better you. See, all of us have so many different layers, right? This is why a lot of times a lot of people don't want to deal with themselves or be invested in themselves. Because see, the truth of the matter is, you and I, we all do have some good, some bad, and some ugly. And a lot of times we don't want to deal with ourselves because we don't want to see the ugly stuff that we have. We don't want to see the bad stuff that we have. So we feel if we don't deal with ourselves, we don't deal with it, we don't have it. But the truth is, you have it just like I have it. So getting better is all about making your good get bigger And then getting better makes your bad get smaller. Getting better makes sure your ugly don't get any uglier, right? So when you cultivate yourself, you're spending time with yourself to make sure that happens for you. Now, if you don't spend time with yourself, then that ugly gonna get uglier, and that bad's gonna get worse, and that good is gonna almost be non-existent. So here's what we have to do. When we develop ourselves, we unwrap ourselves, right? Because we got these different layers and we can see the good that we have so we can make that better. But then we see these bad areas that we have and these ugly areas so we can clean that up so we can get better. See, because those things are hindering you from becoming a better person because those things are on your personality, making your personality worse. But so when we cultivate, spend time with ourselves, and the only reason why you cultivate with yourself, cultivate anything is to make it better. You cultivate ground or a garden to make it better. You cultivate things and relationships to make them better. If that means, but you gotta spend time with you. Now that shouldn't be hard to do. You know why? Everywhere you go, you take you with you. So it's not like you got to go find you to spend time with you. Like in a relationship, you got to go get with the other person. You need somebody else to work with the relationship to spend time with them. But to spend time with yourself, you don't need to go find anybody. Everywhere you go, you take you with you. So you can spend time with you anytime you want, as long as you want, how you want, where you want, when you want. Now, if you don't do those things, you can't become a better self. So you develop yourself, unwrap yourself, and what ends up happening, suppose someone that really liked or loved or admired or respected you gave you a gift, and it might be wrapped up. Well, what you're doing, you are unwrapping excitement, right? Now, a lot of times people say, well, I'm in today is the present. Well, it's a gift, right? But really, the gift is not so much in the present day. The gift is you. See, how are you going to present yourself in today? See, if you don't unwrap yourself, then you're not unwrapping excitement. We don't see the good that you have because you never unwrap yourself in the present day. See, the truth is you are a gift to the day. See, if you're not here, the day is still going to be the day, right? It was a time on the planet you weren't here, right? And it's going to be a time on the planet you're not going to be here. But while you're here, you're nothing but a walking gift walking around. But if you don't unwrap yourself and develop yourself to becoming a better self, we can't get that good gift. You won't see it, and neither will we. Why? Because you're not unwrapping yourself to become a better self. So your job is to cultivate you to become a better you. People that become better spend time with themselves, even in their ugly days. They spend time with themselves, even in their ugly times. They spend time with themselves, even on their down days. Why? Because if you don't want to spend time with yourself when it's raining, don't try to spend time with yourself when it's nice and sunny. Too late, right? You want to spend time with yourself when it's sunny and when it's raining, when it's day and when it's night. Now, obviously, that makes you a better person to everyone that's involved in your life. See, this is one reason why this is so important because a lot of people involved with themselves because they don't actually become better people. What ends up happening is these people become parents, right? They become husbands and wives and grandmamas and granddaddies, aunts and uncles, right? And because they haven't become better people, then with these babies popping out the womb, they brand new, right? You were brand new like I was brand new, right? So now you have these people with all these people that's not working on themselves, and this is our environment, right? I'm not talking about financially. This is just our environment because we don't have a lot of people that's working on themselves. Now, if you're one of those people that was fortunate enough to have people working on themselves and teaching you at 2 years old to become a better person and helping you with your self-confidence and your self-esteem and your self-discipline, hey, kudos to you, man. I'm happy for you, right? But for a lot of us, that's not the way we were raised. A lot of us, we didn't know nothing about confidence. A lot of us, we had esteem issues. A lot of us, we had a whole lot of issues going on starting at about 4 or 5 years old. And then now we're 24, 25, and now we somebody's mama and daddy. See, then we 34 or 35. Now we somebody mama and daddy times 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, right? Then 30 years later, we mama, daddy, and aunt, uncles, and all these different things. And then we have all these people in our lives not working on themselves, and they pass on those habits on to us. And then sometimes we end up picking up the same habits. When they get mad and everything can't handle life, they start drinking. We get mad, we can't handle life, we start drinking too, right? That's what we're seeing in our environment. So if it works for them, I guess it worked for us. Now it's not really working for them, but I don't know any other way. This is how everybody in my family, in my circle, in my life, this is how they cope with themselves. So this is how I'm going to cope with myself. So you becoming better is showing you how to cope with yourself better. So then you can, when you become a parent, because you won't be damaging all these different people, these little people that coming in the world, then you can actually be an asset to yourself and an asset to everybody that come across your life. So that's why I'm cultivating yourself. Now, another self-help skill. Now, that's a self-help skill, self-development. Another self-help skill is the skill of what I say you have to, after you develop yourself, you want to get good at self-improvement. You got to improve yourself. Now, self-improvement, people look at self-development and self-improvement like they're one and the same, like they're two sides to one coin. The reality is they're two different coins, right? And they all have their own sides. See, you can't improve on something you haven't developed. See, if you haven't developed it, then you can't improve upon it, right? Your job is to develop you so you can improve on you. Now, here's what I mean. It's like sweeping the floor, right? You wouldn't mop a floor before you sweep the floor, would you? You wouldn't dry clothes before you wash them, would you? See, self-development is you have to is washing the clothes first, and self-improvement is drying them. Self-development is cleaning sweeping the floor first. Self-improvement is mopping the floor after you sweep it, right? Well, this is what happens. A lot of people say, I'm gonna get into self-improvement, and they say, okay, I'm gonna get into self-improvement, but the problem is they never develop anything. See, you only can improve on something that has been developed. So here's the reality. I said that if you're not developing yourself, you are destroying yourself. See, lack of self-development is nothing but living a life of self-destruction. Now, if you're not improving, see, improving is self-rehabbing. You have rehabbing yourself, right, to make you a better person. Well, if you're not rehabbing yourself, then that means you're dealing with self-neglect. Self-neglect means that it's self-deterioration. It's the same thing. It's self-deterioration is destroying yourself, just taking a slower period of time to do it. See, so you have some people walking around just destroying themselves and destroying other people. Then you have some people just ignoring themselves and neglecting themselves, and then they just live a slow, destructive life by deteriorating. Think of a building, right, that hasn't been maintained or people moved out and it's just there, right? It might be an urban city, right? And the building just there. You don't have to do anything to the building after about 5, 10, 15 years. The windows start breaking, bricks start falling off the building, the roof come off. Why? Because it's not being tended to. So it's deteriorating because it's being neglected. So the longer it's neglected, the more it would deteriorate and the less it would function well. Then it becomes a hazard to the community because you don't know if the roof gonna fall in. See, that's how some people are. They go 5, 10, 15, 20 years and not work on themselves, and what they deteriorate and they become a hazard if they get into somebody's life. They become a hazard if they get on somebody's job. They become a hazard if they get in somebody's church. They become a hazard if they go in somebody's neighborhood. Not because they bad people, they just self-neglecting people that's deteriorating day by day, all because they don't want to improve anything. They don't want to become better. They don't want to develop anything. So that's another self-help skill that you need to have in order to function well in your life. Another self-help skill that you need to have is what is it's called self-care. Self-care is how you maintain yourself. See, if you don't maintain yourself, it's proof that you don't care about yourself. People that don't care about themselves don't maintain themselves, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, all those different things, right? If you don't care about you, see, this is how you know that you're going down a downward spiral, right? This is when you know that you're not really doing well. When you start saying stuff like, I don't care about this, I don't care about that, I don't care about this over there either, I don't care about that. That's already proof that you living in a place called lack of self-care. You show me anybody that have a conversation laced with I don't care. I don't care about them. I don't care about that. I don't care about those. I don't care about anything. And look at them. And they don't care about themselves either. Because you can't go along all day not caring about nothing, then that you're gonna hit a button and care about you. See, it starts with you caring about you, then you start caring about mama and daddy and sister and brother and husband and wife and son and daughter and best friend, cousin. You start caring about more things when you start caring and providing a lot of self-care for yourself. If you don't have any self-care for yourself, that means you can't maintain the ground you have came up with. It's like this, right? Let's suppose, you ever hear the statement saying the grass look greener on the other side. But see, to a certain degree, we say that about people like, hey, they look better, on the other side. The truth is, the grass is greener on the other side. Now, here's what I mean. Let's use this as a story. You have two families, right? They live side by side, moved into the properties at the same time. And then one family had a nice green lawn. I mean, this grass looked really, really good. Then the family next door lawn was all tore up, beat up, raggedy, and everything. Now then you say, wait a minute, what? I mean, I wonder why this person's grass is green and this one isn't. Maybe it's because maybe they don't get enough rain. Well, they live next door to each other, so they getting rain. Maybe they don't get enough sunlight. Well, they live next door to each other, they're getting sunlight. Well, maybe because one earn more money than another. No, they earn about the same amount of money. Well, maybe because they have a bigger family, they have the same size family. Okay, well, what is it then? The reason why the family's lawn looks better than the other family is because it's being taken care of better. See, this is how it goes with people. When you start taking care of your person more, and then you're going to start looking better. So then it does look greener on the other side because you have taken more care in the inside of you. Well, see, when people that don't take care of themselves, it won't be long because they don't take care of themselves. They deteriorate because they don't develop, they don't haven't improved themselves, so that they don't cultivate themselves, they don't cleanse themselves, they don't manage themselves, they don't handle themselves, they don't face themselves, they don't deal with themselves, they don't invest in themselves. All these different things they don't do. So they don't care about nothing. They don't care. And then eventually it shows up. They don't care about their appearance. They don't care about how they smell or look, right? Because see, now it comes on the outside. See, it starts on the inside, and then this thing travels on the outside. It don't start on the outside, then travel on the inside. No, no. It starts on the inside and then travel on the outside. So that's another self-help skill you need. It's called self-care. You got to care about you. You got to improve you. You got to develop you. You got to do these things. Another self-help skill that we discussed today, that's in the book as well, it's the self-help care, self-help skill called personal growth. Well, see, you have to increase yourself. You should becoming a bigger and better you. The more you work on becoming a bigger and better you. If you aren't increasing, then you are decreasing. Meaning, if you're not increasing, getting better, you are decreasing and getting worse. Why? Because you're not growing. See, like a tree has no choice but to grow. A dog has no choice but to grow and be as big as dog he can be. A pig, a butterfly, right? All these things grow to their maximum potential. But see, a human being can choose whether or not he or she is going to grow. If they don't want to grow, guess what? They won't. Well, yeah, they will. They grow worse. They won't grow better, right? But see, if you want to grow, then you can actually do that if you want to grow. But if you don't want to grow, then it's not going to probably happen for you, right? So, when people say, I'm grown, right? Because I pay a car note. I'm grown. I got my own apartment, a house. I'm grown, right? Because people think they grown because of the fact that they pay bills, right? And then, they said, I'm 65 years old. I'm grown, right? And let's look at the word grown for a minute. GROWN, right? So I want you to put a hyphen between the W and the N, or a dash, right? And we say GROW dash N. And now we're going to pronounce it. Now we say grow in. See, you're not grown. You should always be grow in. See, you should be grow in all the time. If you're not grow in, then that means you're die in, right? Now you say, well, no, I'm not dying. I'm in good health. You don't work on yourself. So the person that's in the inside is dying. My philosophy is, it may not be accurate, but it is my philosophy. And it says that I say most people, if they die at 22, we just bury them when they're 72. See, because things like this, this is like I shared with you once before, becoming a better person is the cornerstone to your life, right? It sets the stage, it sets the pace, it sets the diagram, it sets everything up in your life by becoming a better person. So if you stop working on yourself at 22, you might stop dreaming. You might stop having goals. You might stop trying to do anything, be anything, because of the fact that you're dying in the inside because you're not becoming a better person, because you're not growing. If you're not growing, again, you're dying. Now you may die 50 years later. We might put you in a casket and have a service for you. However, if you stop working on yourself, then that means you are a dead self to yourself. And then now how are you gonna be alive to somebody else if you're not working on yourself? So that's another self-help skill that you need to have as well. The last self-help skill that's in the book, and I touched on this a couple of times in part 2 and part 3, is personal relationships. You gotta get good at building personal relationships with people. But see, if you're not good at building a personal relationship with yourself, trust me, you won't be good at building a personal relationship with other people. If you're not good at building a personal relationship with yourself, that means you're good at tearing down or tearing up yourself. That's why most people are so critical with themselves, because they don't realize they're not becoming better, so they're tearing themselves up, tearing themselves down. Then they step into your life and they tear you up and tear you down. Then after they get rid of you, they go somewhere else and tear them up and tear them down, because they have torn themselves down all the time. Why? Because they haven't worked on becoming a better person. See, here's the reality. When you step into the lives of people, they after you leave it, if you have to leave their life in a year, 6 months, 5 years, 20 years, their life should be better since you stepped in it, not worse after you got in it. And now the only way it's gonna get better after you stepped in it is you becoming a better person. You are an asset walking around, right? You don't want to be the opposite of an asset, right? We have to take off a couple of letters, right? You don't want to be that, right? You want to be an asset going into somebody's life. If you do that, then you that means that you are growing and you helping other people grow too. That's why you got to get good with personal relationships. Now you can't have personal relationships with everybody, right? Because a lot of people you might meet, but you need about 5 or 6 people that you have to have a decent personal relationship with. Now here's the truth of the matter: some people, when they see you call, see your text, see your email, or whatever, right? See your request or whatever, they don't want to deal with you. Hey, that's their choice, right? But some people, man, they want to deal with you. When you call, they gonna call you back if they can't answer. They want your presence in their life. So here's what I had to learn. You have to learn how to get around people that want your presence in their life because they're gonna respect your value as a person. People that don't want your presence won't respect your value. So you have to, if you want to have some good personal relationships, you got to realize you have value and get around other people that have value too. Why? Because that means that they're going to respect your presence. I mean, some people, man, they don't like see Dr. Gant. They don't want to talk to me, don't want to see me, don't want to hear from me or nothing, right? But there's some people where they love to talk to Dr. Gant. They want to see me, hear me, talk to me, and all those good things. Why? Because they respect my value because they know I respect them. Now, just because people don't want to talk to me, don't mean I don't respect their value. I still respect their value. They just don't respect mine. And that's gonna happen to you too. You don't say it's hating and all that stuff. People have the choice of who they want to have in their life. They can choose who presence they want in their presence. And if it's not yours, they're not bad people. They just made a choice. But I'm telling you, you got to get around you some better people if you want to have a better lifestyle and be in a better situation, have a more harmonious life. I'm telling you, one of the best things you do is get around better people. You need about 6 people. It's a couple of people that I talk to maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Man, these are friends. These people become best friends, man, after a while, right? It's some people I talk to maybe twice a month. Some people I talk to maybe, once a month, right? Because I need to talk to them because they help me get sharp and I help them get sharp, right? And we talk about life, not just business, but just people, right? Because they're going to point me to something they're doing that's good. It can be something they're eating that's good, or something they're drinking that's good, or something that's good for them becoming better. Something they read, a place they went, something they learned. Because better people always tell you the things they learn all the time. People that's not getting better, they won't tell you, they won't bring no new information on learning how to be better, how they stop the bad habit or stuff like that. They won't do any of those things. Well, the same thing would happen for you too. You got to get around better people. So I shared a lot over the last 4 weeks in regards to becoming a better person, right? So just so I'm here, I want you to take down the 12 life self-help skills. And after you can purchase the book, unknowngreatness.com, get the book and get out there. Some of you all have, and this is a book club. This help you get better. You can't get better if you don't read nothing. You got to read something, right? On how to get better. So self-help skill we talked about, and again, I'm gonna go just in the hierarchy how I have them in the book. You have to actually value yourself. That's a self-help skill of self-worth. You have to appraise yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-evaluation. You have to you have to invest in yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-interest. You have to do it for yourself. That's the self-help skill of personal or self-responsibility. You have to face yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-reflection. You have to deal with yourself. That's the self-help skill of self or personal management. You have to cleanse yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-cleansing. You have to cultivate yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-development. You have to revive yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-improvement. You have to maintain yourself. That's the self-help skill of self-care. You have to increase yourself. That's the self-help skill of self or personal growth. And then you have to find your kind of self. That's the self-help skill of personal relationships. Those are all 12 of the self-help skills right there for you. Again, you can purchase from the book because obviously, I couldn't say the whole thing. It takes me about 14 hours to teach this thing, even on the audio program. So you can purchase the audio thing. This particular book and course will also be on the online school, Achieving Lasting Greatness Academy. It'll be there too. It'd be 14 hours long as well. So you get a lot more. I only spent maybe about less than 4 hours trying to, go through as much information as I could so you can have it. Purchase the book on this as well, Becoming a Better Me. Again, unknowngreatness.com. Only got about 3 minutes, super producer. Okay, wrapping it up. Okay, so next month we're going to be in the book. It's great. The seven pillars on having a healthy relationship. So obviously you want to actually get that book, unknowngreatness.com. We're going to talk about relationships, how to be in healthy relationships only, starting the next session. So again, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and being here on the show and follow me. If you're on the social media spot, please share it and also go to intellectualradio.com and hit the subscribe button. Go to Spreaker. You can download this on your tablet, phone, and cell phone, all those good things. So again, you were born great, but you have to work on yourself every day to become greater. I'll see you next time.